Good morning, this is Gracie Opulenza, and I'm all about eccentric and opulent lifestyle. You can find out a lot more about me on gracieopulenza.com, and today we are looking and talking about eyewear 1980s Christian Dior. Now you can look on my YouTube, Dior, a wonderful catwalk that I videoed a few years back. Christian Dior, also brilliant series. I watched the history of Dior versus Chanel during the war, and it's very enlightening, his love for design and designing under pressure, and also the particular flowers he used. Now, let's talk about eyewear. I've written a fantastic article on gracieopulenza.com about Luxtoxia, which used to be owned by Italians. Eyewear predominantly over the years were made in Italy. Now it's bought up by Chinese companies, an LVMH group. The quality of eyewear on the high street is vulgar, it's cheap, and it's nasty. Still commanding the same price, if not more. And that's why I'm encouraging you to go on platforms to buy your vintage eyewear. And these are never worn, they're 1980s, and they are fantastic quality. Today it's flimsy, it's tinny. There's that controversial debate about made in Italy, when in fact the latest Gucci eyewear that I own is already falling apart and definitely not made in Italy. What happens is 9 times out of 10, and I've got people telling me this, that it's made in China, shipped back, a little bit finished off in Italy, and then they say made in Italy. So the made in Italy has been diluted for a long time now. Coming in the sunlight. So these are 1980s, brand new, never worn, Christian Dior vintage eyewear. Now they're bang on trend because have a look at the Ferrari image I've got up now. That's Ferrari. Tried them on in Rome. They're €560. And can definitely see that they've gone back to the 1980s inspired trends. I find that Ferrari is eyewear is very gender neutral, more borderline masculine. But when I tried the Ferraris on, and these are the ones, and look at that big advert they've got all over Rome, I thought, hold on, they're like my Christian Dior vintage. The arms here are made in Austria, which frame made in Austria. So this is not even made in Italy. So in the past, 20, 30 years ago, Europe was Europe, so they would have manufacturing and they'd just share that skill and the materials. And the materials of the eyewear today are really nothing compared to even eyewear that I've bought 10, 15 years ago, and I'm really glad that I kept them. And I would encourage you to really start buying vintage eyewear. It's better value for money and the better quality, and they're more unique. VintageStyleClothing.com is my other blog, and I'm also written an article on how vulgar fashion is on the high street today. Fast fashion, it's vulgar, the fabric's vulgar. Everyone's got the same style, boot, shirt, skirt, from H&M to Zara. I visited Rome 4 times, Florence. I've bought nothing when it comes to clothing in the last 6 months on the high street, even longer, because it's just repulsive and it's vulgar and it's just cheap, nasty fabric, mainly coming out of China. And therefore, VintageStyleClothing.com, my wardrobe is, I just recently bought a silk scarf, all vintage, Gucci, Givenchy, Ferragamo, gorgeous bags. the quality of stuff 30, 40, 50 years ago and more, I'd highly recommend it. That's my wardrobe. I've never been someone to follow trends, but I've once again nailed it in the sense that this is very, very similar to the Ferrari collection, which the quality was better than I thought, but you know, €560. I paid €88 for these on a platform called vestiaire.com, and I love them. They look great. I know no one's going to have these at all. And also that when people come up to me and say, hey, where did you get your eyewear from? I'll say, well, it is 1980s Christian Dior vintage. We'll just go over here again. Look, not a scratch, great tint, and even the, the frame and the quality of the eyewear is much, much better than it is today. I think we're being lied to and sold really crap out of Asia, and I live in Asia, and there is nothing too dissimilar to the mainstream eyewear with no name brand compared to Gucci, Prada, I think. And I can tell you that because I bought 3 years ago Prada and Gucci frames. They're flimsy. They're nowhere the quality of the Gucci I have of 10, 15 years ago, let alone the Prada. And that's because of, the big conglomerates buying it up. So I encourage you, look at that. Gorgeous attention to detail. The frame is made in Austria, and they're really, really comfortable. Hold on. I can't show you. Let me flip this around. It's unusual. I got my other eyewear for me to have. These are a little bit smaller in frame than I'm normally used to because I like oversized glasses, but they're really elegant. I tried on those Ferraris and I'm really happy with them. Christian Dior, 1980s. Check out Dior. Put Dior on my blog, and even on my YouTube, you'll see some brilliant vintage runways there.